Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you today about limited edition giclées on canvas or paper. The term means to squirt ink in French, but it actually means a reproduction on canvas or paper. And I want to talk to you today about why I think purchasing these from artists is a better value for your money when they're signed and numbered limited edition prints, which means there's only a certain amount of those that'll be printed by the artist. We usually have our hands on them, signing them or stretching them or embellishing them with paint, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And it gives a lower price point to people that really love your art and they can't afford to buy originals. So a signed and numbered limited edition print or giclée is a way to own a great way to own a piece of art, and also have something in your collection that you really love until you can afford originals, which means we usually have an edition of 25, 50, 100, maybe 500. It depends on what the artist wants to do with the edition or the size of the edition. Also, the first piece off the press is usually called an artist proof. And those are usually more valuable because they're the ones that we're judging the rest of the edition by. And usually if they're embellished with paint, they should be worth more money down the road. A lot of people like to order certain numbers in editions when they're collecting artists because they think the lower the number, the art will be worth more down the road, and that's usually true. So behind me I have my Reef giclée, and this is a 48 by 52. It's huge. Many of my prints can be printed larger on the website than I have available because I will not ship them stretched if they're bigger than 30 by 40. I'm happy to deliver it to you if you live in the Orlando, Florida area or meet you halfway, but shipping gets really prohibitive and very expensive when you're shipping a piece this big stretched. But if you have any interest in a print down the road and you want a bigger piece, please let me know because I can print many of them much larger than what I have on the site. So anyway, today I'm going to embellish this Reef piece for a client I'm delivering tomorrow. And typically I use heavy gel gloss. This is golden. There are many products out that work the same way. The great thing about any products with acrylic is that it makes the paint go 50% more than what you have. You increase the volume. It doesn't do anything to hurt the opacity of it. It just makes you have more paint, which is great. It dries clear gloss. It looks white and milky here, but it does dry as a clear gloss. So typically when we're embellishing a print, we want to add paint to it and give it some life so it feels like you own an original. You're not going to put paint usually over the whole piece. You just want to put paint over the highlights. But it's up to every artist how much they want to paint on it. I don't want to paint over the whole canvas because I feel like if I do that, you should be investing in an original because this takes time too. Although for the artist, it is fun because we can kind of zone out, listen to podcasts, music, and we're not having to recreate something from scratch again. All your colors are here. You just need to match them, get the paint on kind of thick, and you know, your client feels like they have texture, they feel like they have a piece of you in the print. The other big difference between the limited editions from artists and what you buy at like Home Goods, my prints are all printed here in Florida by local printers. The quality of the ink is so much better. The quality of the canvas is so much better. These are on very heavy duty stretcher bars. They're good quality. They're gonna last a very long time. Obviously you don't wanna put anything in direct sunlight because it will fade. It can do that to originals too, depending on the medium you have. But you're purchasing from an artist, you're investing in us, you're investing in local printers, you have the highest quality materials. These aren't one-offs from China that might have thousands and thousands of the image out there, although I have had many paintings reproduced as canvases and posters over the years. That's a whole nother deal. That's licensing and just a whole nother animal. But for the art collector that wants to begin, this is a good way to start. It's a pretty good investment. And you know, it's fun for us because we have part of our heart and soul in it and a little bit of our talent, hopefully, when we're adding paint, you know, and get a little bit of that. So today I'm going to just start with the yellow on this Reef piece. This is a sponge, I assume. I used to scuba dive, so I'm gonna say that's a piece of sponge. A lot of times you can use palette knife. That's really fun. It adds a lot of texture. Or I even use a brush and just add it on. Palette knives work great. but I just kind of come in and really put it on thick. So when the client gets the piece, they feel like they can see the texture of the paint. And once again, I'm just touching up on the highlights. And it's just a lot of fun. And this medium with acrylic does take maybe about 30 minutes to fully dry, because I do try to load it on there really thick. And I really like the texture to come through. So when you're up close to the canvas, you do feel like you have a piece of art that's original. And it's pretty easy, pretty fun. You can just take your time. Just kind of enjoy the process. Like I said, you can just kind of zone out. And that's pretty much how I handle it, just doing the highlights. The other cool thing with the gel gloss though, is you can also use it just clear, the white stuff right there that you see. You can just use it straight out of the jar and apply it to areas of a print, and that adds clear texture. You can also take a brush, thin it out just maybe a little bit or leave it thick, and you can brush over the whole canvas and have like a thick, clear texture on it. You can use matte, you can use shiny. I like gloss. Gloss does die down, it doesn't stay super shiny forever, but gloss to me really brings out the color in a painting, and it really brings out the color on the prints. So it's just something to have fun with, a way to embellish a painting, and just have a little something from the artist when you have a piece of art from us. Also, I want to remind you, my 40% canvas sale is still going. Some of those are embellished, some of them aren't. But if you're interested in purchasing one, I would be happy to embellish it for you. I'm just gonna have to charge you a little bit more money because it does take time and it takes more materials. And you can purchase those at sallyevans.com. Obviously, you know how to follow me here on Instagram, and my Facebook business page is Contemporary Art and Pet Portraits by Sally Evans. So anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit of this with you, another little lesson. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for following me. I love you guys. Be safe, wear your masks, wear your gloves, disinfect, do whatever you need to do. I had some friends hose themselves off with Lysol around me recently, but I don't really recommend that. Alrighty, have a good weekend. I'll see you soon.